Now it's time to release the charge and start charging the system. If any additional refrigerant is needed, the time to do it is before we release the charge. We can break that vacuum with that additional refrigerant. So you've already got your gauges connected up to the system. When charging a microchannel system, use the shortest refrigeration or gauge hoses as possible. This will minimize the amount of refrigerant left over in the hoses as you're weighing in the charge. Refer to your QRD. Again, look to see if any additional charge is needed. With our example, we have a 3-ton outdoor unit with a 3-ton indoor unit with a B6B MMO 036 coil. With our example, we needed to add another 15 ounces of refrigerant for the system. We're going to assume we have a 15-foot line set, so we don't need to account for any additional refrigerant for that line set, but we will need to weigh in 15 additional ounces. The best way to weigh it in is not with a bathroom scale or a fish scale. We want to use a refrigeration type scale, and I have one here. Any refrigeration scale that records an ounce is what we want to use. So get your scale out. It may be necessary to zero out the scale. Just make sure you do that, because again, we want to make sure we accurately weigh that in. We next want to get our 410A refrigerant, place that on the scale. We next want to connect our gauge to the refrigerant drum. Go ahead and purge out any air that could be possibly in the gauge set itself. Again, we don't want to introduce air into the system. Again, zero out your scale once you've purged out your hoses and once everything kind of settles down a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and open up the refrigerant drum and go ahead and weigh in, break our vacuum with the liquid refrigerant coming from the system, or coming from the refrigerant drum going into the line set itself. Get as much in as you can. I know in some cases you won't be able to get the whole 15 ounces in, but you can get a good amount of refrigerant in there when you go ahead and break the vacuum in the scale. Once you've weighed in what you possibly can, go ahead and start the system. Walk away for about 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. With 410A, we've got to allow the system to stabilize. Go back inside, check the airflow on the air handler, make sure that's operating properly. Check your evaporator drain, your condensate drain from your evaporator, make sure that's draining properly. Again, just go over your startup checks with the system. Allow it to run, make sure you're operating properly, make sure you've got the correct amount of refrigerant in there, and you should be good to go.